Hey guys, and welcome to another speed building video. So, I haven't uploaded much this week. I think I've only uploaded one video, but the reason for that is I've actually been away. I went on a school camp thing where we had to do a 30k hike with a 30 kg backpack, so that was fun. So when I got home, I just did not feel like recording. I was just so done with life, to be honest. But anyway, sorry about that. I will hopefully be getting back into the swing of things. I've actually got my summer holidays coming up pretty soon, so I will be all sorted then. But anyway, this house is pretty big. As you can tell, the video is quite long. It's like 35 minutes long or something. So the reason for that is, one, this house is big, and two, I actually built a lot of it on a diagonal sort of shape. And if you thought working with diagonal rooms and stuff in The Sims 3 was bad, then oh my god, The Sims 4, it just takes that to a whole different level. I am never working with diagonal rooms again in this game because it just gave me hell. So yeah, there is a lot of sort of roof clipping through the house and all that, and it just, I just couldn't fix it. But I actually got inspiration from this house from a picture I found on Google, so if I remember, I will link that in the description. It is a very sort of gothic kind of house, so yeah, that's basically all I have to say about that. But yeah, this was about a 4 or 5 hour build, I think. Yeah, I think about 5 hours, so it took me quite a while to complete. Mind you, that's not the longest it's ever taken me. Once it took me about 10 hours to build a house. That was fun. I think I built it over about 4 or 5 weeks, that one, so that one took me quite a while, but yeah, this has been sitting on my computer for quite a while, clogging it up, so that is another reason why I haven't really been building houses. But there is like a sort of octagonal tower thing, or actually it's not even a tower, it's just one floor, but yeah, that's over there. So I didn't put an octagonal roof on it because you don't get those, which annoys the hell out of me, but I mean, it's all good. This house does have lots of dark colours, very rich sort of reds, rich wood, so that was a fun thing. But over here I was trying to get that to be a room, but because it was diagonal it just wasn't working. You can't actually do diagonal rooms, I don't think. Looking at it now it looks as if you can, but I just didn't notice that, so I just ended up picking up pieces of floor and just dumping them on the ground everywhere. But I did this staircase thing. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, it's just like that, so it's sort of diagonal. I'm gonna be using that word a lot, but as you can see here, I'm putting in a very rich sort of wood thing. I'm actually quite proud of this house. It's probably the best one I've done in The Sims 4 so far. My other ones are sort of pretty average. I actually built this house in the week that pools came out, and pools just didn't suit the style of the house, so I couldn't put one in, and that really annoyed me. And right now I don't feel like building another house in The Sims 4. I kind of feel like going back to The Sims 3 for a bit, so unfortunately I'm not going to be using pools for quite a while. So yeah, besides, pools for me are being quite glitchy and I'm not entirely sure why, but when I click on the pool it doesn't say like swim here or whatever. It's got all these random coding numbers or something, which confuses me, so I'll have to try and fix that. But here you can see I'm choosing the wallpaper. I think I do change this. No, I don't change it, never mind. But I sort of did this little centerpiece thing. I'm not sure if the white stays there. I also actually changed the colouring of the wood in the house a bit later on, but I'm just doing a little seating area here in between the staircases. Behind those stairs is actually going to be the kitchen and a bathroom, so yeah. That bathroom, when I was building it, I built it before any of the other ones I did, and it didn't end up matching the other ones, so sorry about that. But a lot of this house, I wasn't sure if it was actually going to work in game because of the roof is sort of sticking through and all that, but it does. I did test play this house to make sure it all works. The garden for this house is very overgrown, I suppose you could say. It's got lots of shrubs everywhere and just yeah. But I made a sort of gap over there in the floor where the stairs are, just to overlook the entranceway. But now I'm doing the flooring on the roof, and that made me frustrated. But I'm starting on the roof now, actually, and the roof is probably what gave me the most trouble. It just would not cooperate, so it doesn't look perfect. It doesn't look quite how I'd like it to be, but I did the best I could. So yeah, obviously right now the back of the house doesn't have much shape, but I do sort of add on to it and expand it and all that. But the picture that I was looking at only had the front of the house, so that is all you will actually see for quite some time. I did work on the front first and then move on to the back, and obviously the way the front looked, it didn't quite work on the interior a lot of the time, so I sort of had to go back and edit it so it doesn't look quite exactly like the picture. Of course, it could never look exactly like the picture because you don't have all the right stuff in it, but yeah, I gave it a go. So I'm going to be working on the roof for ages and ages. I think I actually, well, the thing is, with one room in the house, I believe it's like, no, actually more than one room. I think it was about 4 rooms. It stopped recording for a second, my screen recorder, and I don't know why. I didn't notice that it had stopped recording, so I lost footage of about 4 rooms. And they're not the tiniest of rooms either, so it was a huge pain. But, you know, sometimes things like that happen. I kind of wanted to do those sort of roof edgings. I don't know what they're called. But I didn't do them because they're kind of big and get in the way a bit, so yeah. But I'm sort of starting on the wallpapers right now. I actually cut out me doing the wallpaper, like most of it, I think, around the house, just because it took ages and I hadn't quite finished what the house was going to look like. I actually cut out quite a bit in this house of the exterior, just because it was very tedious, a lot of it, and was just sort of me repeating things and trying to work on things. So that was a bit of a pain, but I think I'm maybe moving into the kitchen now. I sort of was jumping in and out of interior and exterior in this build at the beginning, but once I'd sort of gotten the shape of the house, then I sort of started to work on the interior alone a bit more. So yeah, over here, I wasn't sure what I should do in these sort of nooks behind the staircase, so I just did a little reading area over here. So yeah, seeing as the walls were quite big, it was kind of weird when I put the paintings up, because they were quite high hanging, and in real life you probably wouldn't be able to look at them. But one thing that did annoy me a bit here was the roof height of, I think it's I don't know what it's called, but they didn't match, the heights of the roofs didn't match, and that kind of annoyed me a bit. But I put this sort of dark brown railing around the roof. Yeah, but now moving on, I'm just adding a little bit more to the walls. Over here I did this sort of, it's like a dummy level, I guess you could say. It's just one tiny 2x2 square room, and I just put a window there just to give the house a little bit of detail. It kind of annoys me how the shutters on most of the windows don't match each other. I mean, you'll get a few that look pretty alike to each other, but the colors are completely different, and that kind of annoys me a bit. But anyway, the house actually has a lot of sort of these indents, sort of like, yeah, bits in the wall that cave in, I suppose. And then they have a railing or whatever. I don't know, it just sort of added a bit more detail to it, and it looks quite nice. But this back area of the house is the main living and dining area. They're actually separated. The One thing I'm not a huge fan of in this house is that the dining room and the kitchen are quite far away from each other. Not like completely across the house. Like it could work in real life, but it's you know, they're further away than you'd really want them to be. But anyway, the kitchen also is not that grand. The rest of the house is very grand, but the kitchen isn't, just because it's sort of like, I mean, you're not going to bring your guests into the kitchen, if you get what I'm saying. So that's sort of what I did. But I'm just working on the roof a bit more. I'm pretty sure I cut off a lot of the roof work because it did take me ages to do. So yeah, the one thing about the roof that annoyed me the most is where the diagonal part of the house meets the non-diagonal part of the house. That was just a hell. That was hell to work with. But I wanted to add this sort of decking area here. You can't actually go onto it, but I wanted to add that over here, which meant I had to delete that entire wall because of diagonal rooms. And I wasn't sure what to do over there. I didn't want to put a roof there, so I just took those funny things. I'm not actually sure what they're supposed to be, but I scaled them up and used them like that. I'm not entirely sure if I like what I did, but I mean, I suppose it looks alright. I was just experimenting with those, what are they even called? I don't know. But this is where it got really annoying, trying to make the roof work, and I'm pretty sure I cut out a bit here, but there is a bit of me fiddling around with it, and later you will see. I didn't actually get it to be exactly how I wanted. It's not perfect. I wish it could look better, but I couldn't really make it look how I wanted it to, so I just had to work with what I could do. This half octagon thing that's sticking out of the house, it looks a bit weird right now, but I fixed it up. I was gonna turn it into a balcony. I wanted to have like a room there with like a huge balcony, but I didn't end up doing that. But anyway, back to the roof. Oh, just remembering this makes me cringe because it took such a long time and it was so annoying. I'm sorry, it was just annoying. Diagonal roofs haven't improved from The Sims 3. Diagonal anything hasn't really improved from The Sims 3. But anyway, I did a huge cut there of me figuring out that roof, and I also painted the house or put the wallpaper on the house. It does look kind of weird because the wall on the bottom story at that one little place that you just saw there doesn't actually match it that's on the second story, but you know, it was okay. I just went with it. But just trying to find some windows that look okay. It was a bit of a struggle actually, but we got there in the end. So yeah, it took a while, but you know, so just placing more windows around the place. I was trying to find a door that would look okay there that I could put and make it a balcony, but in the end I just sort of gave up. As you can see, I did actually cut out that bit where that room is. I think I put a bathroom in there, not a bedroom. There wasn't enough space for the bedroom because the stairs come up right there, so yeah. This little reading area that I did before, it got deleted when I was messing around with the walls, so I had to redo that. I can't even remember what it looked like before. But, you know, just that rug that I put there, I've like never really used it before. I don't even think I've picked it up before, but it's really nice. It doesn't really work for most houses, but for this one I think it looks really good. And that rug, that big circle rug that I just put under the piano, I use quite a bit in this house. There are actually 2 grand pianos in this house, just because one, I mean, if you're extremely rich, why not have 2 grand pianos? And 2, they're good to occupy space. In The Sims 3, I just use foosball tables and pool tables to occupy space, but now we only have grand pianos, so I have to use more of those. I couldn't quite find a rug that fit there. It took me quite a while, but I got there in the end. I like that rug that I put there, but the color range isn't there. There aren't enough colors, basically. I wanted to use a diagonal tiling over here so it looked straight, but there was only one and it wasn't a very nice one, and you couldn't even recolor it, so I just ended up making it diagonal tiles. But this is the kitchen. As you can see, it's a bit hidden away. It was kind of annoying because the counters won't connect in diagonal rooms, so it took me quite a while to figure this out, and I had to use a lot of Alt and stuff. If you're wondering how to place objects off the grid, you just hold down Alt while you're placing them, and you can also do that while you're rotating, because I do get quite a few questions about that. So the islands in this kitchen are very separated from each other, just because that's how I was doing it. I don't know. But there are lots of little decorations around the place, and I did put in what is that pots and pan rack, because it looked so fancy and I really liked it. And in this corner I just put one of those things. I'm not actually sure what they are, but you just saw it over there. But this is a bathroom. This bathroom doesn't match any of the other ones, unfortunately, because I hadn't done those ones yet. And yeah, I suppose this bathroom here is more for like if you had a chef and they'd spent the whole day in the kitchen, then they could use that bathroom. But this here is the dining room. As you can see, it is quite far away from the kitchen, but not too far away. And over here is where I lost a bunch of footage, but you'll see those rooms in the screenshot. So unfortunately I lost one bedroom, a bathroom, the dining room, and the lounge area. Yeah, so sorry about that. Hopefully the screenshots make up for it, but I'm doing bedrooms here, and this was the floor plan of this floor was such a pain. I just couldn't get it how I wanted, and just it's quite a small space. So well, it's pretty big, but it's quite narrow, so it was hard to fit in a hallway without it being like 1 square wide. So yeah, that was a bit of a pain. The rooms weren't nearly as big as I wanted them to be. I think I just completely scrapped this, how it is now, and redid it. And I also took away that big roof that was intersecting, but I do add it back. I think I just changed it up a teensy little bit. It was a bit of a pain, but you know, we got there in the end. So here I'm just sort of cleaning out the walls and adding them back in. One of the rooms is quite a strange shape, so it's sort of separated into like an entrance and then the bedroom area. So that was a bit of a pain, but it's alright. Unfortunately, what's that thing called again? The rim? I don't know. Of the roof, you can like see it. It doesn't blend in with the rest of the roof, but you know, I did what I could. I think all of this that I'm doing now I actually built today. Today, while I'm recording this, I built so much of this house. Lots of people tend to build the whole house in one day, but I can't do that. I can't just sit down and build for 5 hours straight. I have to split it up over about 2 weeks or something. And that's why it takes me such a long time to build, because if you're a builder, you know that if you've been building for hours on end, you just put less effort into things. You sort of slack off a bit, and you'll see by the end of this build, by the end of the interior at least, I was sort of slacking off a bit because I was just so done. I wanted to get it done for this week because I didn't have any other, well, I've only got one other video ready for this week, so I'm sorry about that, but yeah. And I added curtains onto most of the windows, which I don't usually do, but I quite like the look of them, and here I'm just scaling up some of these toys to see what they would look like as proper fake cars. Wow. Yeah, I put a big mirror in there and a little table, I believe. Yeah. And I put a light on it and a finger plant. Yeah. I just said that as I put everything down. Perfect timing. But I put 2 bookshelves here and a light in between. And 2 lights above it. So it's kind of a pain with hallways. There's not a lot you can put in them. So it does get a bit annoying sometimes. But, you know, we work with it. So that room off to the left was a bedroom, and yeah, on the top floor there are 4 bedrooms and there's 1 downstairs, and there are 3 bathrooms upstairs and 2 downstairs. So we've got 5 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms, and there you saw that 1 bedroom that got cut out. This here is actually the master bedroom, so there's that 12,000 simoleon bed that you could never afford. This house is very expensive, by the way. So you'll either have to cheat into it or just get really, really rich. Unfortunately, that curtain over there that went over the sort of bay window, I don't know if that's a bay window, but that curtain, the only color that really matched the rest of the house was blue, and it doesn't match with the other curtains, so it looks a bit weird, and I probably should have deleted it now that I think about it, but I didn't end up doing that, so sorry. And there's two little couches over there and a plant and a nice big rug, because it's always nice to have a big rug, and a painting on the wall. But there is a bathroom in that second door, an ensuite, so that's quite nice. And I don't think I did use that ship. I put it on top of the dresser. I do like that ship. It's quite nice. But here's the bathroom that actually got cut out, but I was just editing it a bit because I didn't quite like how it looked. But anyway, I'm working on these 3 other bathrooms in the house. They're all pretty much they use the same furniture, I believe. Not furniture, appliances, I guess. They all use the same sinks and the same shower and bath and toilet and stuff. So this first one I put a bit more detail into the rest of them just because it's kind of tedious doing bathrooms. They're exactly the same thing and you're just doing the same thing over and over again, and it's kind of annoying. So yeah, but besides, bathrooms don't need to be very fancy. I mean, it's just a bathroom, like, seriously. But yeah, so just repeating the same sort of process, and then I think I move on to the teenager's bedroom. A bit of a pause there, but yeah, so it's a teenage girl's bedroom or just a girl's bedroom, or it could be a boy's bedroom if you wanted it to be, but it's very pink, very girly. I tried not to go too overboard on the pink. I was going to do a pink carpet, but then I just thought that would be a bit overpowering. So yeah, but it's got lots of whites and pinks. It is actually quite nice. Like, I would have this, but I wouldn't choose to have it, if you get what I'm saying. But there is a desk there. I didn't put a computer on it, but I did put a iPad, I guess. It could be an iPad. But yeah, there weren't really any big pink paintings that I wanted. I mean, in my last speed build I was saying how there weren't any big paintings, and everyone was commenting and saying you can just scale them up. And I know you can scale them up, but sometimes it gives me this weird glitch when I try to do that, and even when I do scale them up, they're not always the right dimensions. Like, I usually want them to be landscape, but they end up being portrait, and there still aren't very many options anyway, and I'll still keep on using the same ones over and over again. And I don't know, I don't really like to scale things up. Like, I try to do it as unfrequently as possible. I try not to scale things up when I can, because it sometimes it doesn't load in properly when you download it. So yeah, this room, the problem with it is there is a roof sticking through it, so just try to ignore that. Yeah. So I'm moving out onto the garden now. I did a nice big fountain around the driveway, so it's very nice and very classy. So yeah, I was just extending it out a bit and working on it a bit more, trying to get it a bit more round. Obviously you can't make them round in this, but you know, it was worth a try. And the annoying thing about this was it was actually off center, and I didn't realize until I was doing the stuff around it, so that kind of annoyed me a bit. But it's sort of got this gap and then more fountain with a big squirting thing out of it. It took me quite a while to find, or not to find, to figure out the sort of what are those things called? I don't know what they are, but you know, the things that spray out water. It took me a while to figure out what I wanted it to look like, and I did all these weird things. Like, this one just looked really bad in the end, so I got rid of it. But you know, I wanted to put something cool in the center there, but I couldn't because there was I have to use the word again. The squirting things, I don't know what they're called, but yeah, yeah, I do add some more stuff in here. I just hadn't done it yet, so now I'm adding it in. So it's quite cool because the water doesn't spray out all at the same time. It sprays out sort of at different times, so that was cool. But right now I'm gonna have to move the fountain over pretty soon, and that just, oh, it annoyed me because I'd already done the pattern around it and it's quite hard to get it exactly how you want it to be, so that was a bit of a pain. The house is quite a strange shape, like where the entrance is. It's sort of off to the side rather than in the center, so I did have to work with that, but it was okay. Also, in the last video I said that the house was quite close to the center of the lot and everyone was just like, just pick it up and move it forward, and I do know you can do that. Everything that everyone was commenting in the last video, I do know, but I just didn't think about it, and also I probably didn't want to, even if I had thought about it. Because usually I record the commentary a week or two after I've built the house, just because I'm kind of lazy, but actually this one I finished the house today, so be proud of me. And I forgot to put the roof off over I forgot to put the roof on over there, so I did that now. Going onto the garden now, just put these railings everywhere. I can't remember if I keep them, actually, no, I think I do keep them, but over here I wanted that, what's it called, the archway, that one, that I just used there, but I couldn't get it in the center, so I had to extend out the pathway a bit more, make it a bit wider, and it looks nice in the end. So over here there's this little garden area with like seating and stuff, and it's really overgrown and I actually really like it. Personally I probably wouldn't, sorry if you can hear the piano playing, my sister just started. Alrighty, hopefully that's a bit better, but anyway, as I was saying, a garden like this I probably wouldn't want personally for myself because I'm sort of more into neater gardens. I don't really like gardens that are too neat though, but you know, neater than this one because this one's just so overgrown and it's just got plants everywhere. It's I don't know, I kind of liked how it was because it looks kind of real. Like, I mean, you know when you walk past those houses and their gardens are just, they've got plants everywhere and the lawn hasn't been mowed and all that. It was sort of like that. So it did take me quite a while. I just had to like cram a bunch of plants in, and sometimes that's quite hard in The Sims 4 because there is no move objects on, so that was annoying. But I put 2 little benches there and then a little dining area, and there is a fountain on the other side, so that was really nice. And then on the edges of this it's just plants everywhere. There was that little neat flower bed back there, and then I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna crowd this place up because I wasn't really sure what I should make the garden look like. I was sort of like, I mean the house is sort of, it's a bit gothic, but it's a bit old-fashioned sort of, so I looked up gothic gardens on the internet and they were just like completely wrecked and overgrown gardens, so I took inspiration from that, and it looks pretty cool in the end. I think I'm usually not very good at landscaping and some of you guys might hate the way this garden turned out, but personally I really do like it, and I am quite proud of it. So yeah, it was fun to do, definitely. So maybe in the future I'll be doing more of these. I'd really like to attempt a build like this in The Sims 3 because most of my Sims 3 builds were quite modern and or contemporary, around that sort of area. I didn't do anything old-fashioned or gothic, anything like that, so I think I would very much like to do that. So maybe in the future, quite soon. I definitely want to go back and do a few more Sims 3 builds because, I mean, as much as I do like The Sims 4 and it's fun to play a new game, I miss The Sims 3 a lot, so I'll probably go back and do a few more builds with that soon enough. So yeah, I think my next build will probably be a Sims 3 build or something to do with pools because they just came out and I'm really excited, so I'd like to do that. But yeah, I'm just adding dirt under these flower beds and as you can see it looks really cool. So I'm just working over here a little bit, there is actually a little wedding arch off to the side there, but I'm just doing the flower bed over here. Yeah, so once again, this one is also very overgrown and messy, but I didn't put any trees here, so it's a bit neater, I suppose. But yeah, it was actually quite hard to fill up the garden because I really wanted to use a pool, but I couldn't because the house just doesn't look like it would have a pool. I suppose what I could do was I could have like made it look really dirty and like put lily pads in it so no one would really want to swim in it. You know, like when you see one of those pools and they look like a pond because they're just so gross and yucky. But I think, yeah, over here I put in a little gardening area, just, you know, those garden box things. It was kind of annoying to get it was annoying to make the terrain paint sort of squarish around those because there's no diagonal square thing. You have to use the round one. I don't know if that made any sense, but anyway, I'm just adding in more plants everywhere, and I put a big willow tree out the back, and I put a bench underneath it, just because that would be a nice little place to sit and, I don't know, make out with your boyfriend or whatever. But over here I am about to do the wedding area. I don't know, the reason I did this is, one, because I couldn't think of anything else to do, and two, I don't know, I felt like it would be quite a cool place to get married, I suppose. So yeah, and I put lots of plants around this as well, so even the wedding area is kind of abandoned and overgrown, so that was quite something. I put some trees over here and then just crowded it up with plants. I really wish there was move objects on this. It would have made this so much easier. EA, please just... Actually, I heard somewhere that they were actually working on a move objects on sheet, and they were also working on toddlers or something. I'm not entirely sure if that is true, but I heard it somewhere. I think someone commented it in a video, and I saw the comment and I was just like, oh my goodness. I'm not too fussed about toddlers though, to be honest. I mean, it is a bit of a valuable life stage, but I really didn't like toddlers, so yeah. But over here, just another flower bed. There are lots of just random flower beds in the middle of nowhere because I couldn't really find anything else to do, and this is supposed to be a really overgrown sort of garden. You're probably wondering why I put those sort of, are those like bubble trees or something? The ones with the round leaf things on the end. I just did those because in the pictures that I saw, there were lots of bonsai bush things. You know, the ones where they cut it to certain shapes. There were lots of those. So I put a bunch of those everywhere. I would have used the llama, but I just didn't. And there was like a bear or something as well. I didn't use that one either, but yeah, I don't know why. I probably should have. There's a random plant pot over there. I don't think you can even get to that, but I thought it looked quite cool. And there's actually a bird bath in that little secret garden that's not secret at all. But anyway, another bushery place. I don't know, I'm so bad at explaining things, but I put a little tree over here, and a few little bits and bobs around it, but I think we're actually getting to the end soon. I think after this I just put some lights around the garden to make it light up like a star, and I put a rubbish bin over there. Yeah, it's quite nice to see the houses on different points of the day. I actually have to change it to evening, not to night, because I couldn't see what I was doing, but yeah, I like the addition of not just having day and night, of having evening and morning as well. But anyway, over here there are the screenshots. Yeah, so I hope you guys like this house. I certainly do, and the windows were glitching in that picture and that one. But anyway, yeah, so thank you all for watching this video. It's not quite come to an end yet, but yeah, so here the lounge area will be showed soonish, so you guys can see the bits that got deleted. And I'm really sorry that they got deleted, so that was a bit of a pain. But here is the dining room, and it's got a bar there, and this little place with the fireplace, and then over here is the lounge area over there. And I did put that really expensive suit of armor in, and this is the little spare bedroom and the bathroom. So anyway, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video and the house. You can download it. All the information for that will be in the description. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys.